Before you pack up and head to Cleveland, stop and watch this video because I am breaking down the 5 most common and costly mistakes people make when they relocate here. I've helped dozens of buyers avoid them and save serious money doing it. What's up, guys? Anthony Esposito with eXp Realty, your local expert in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And relocation is one of my specialties, and I've helped families, professionals move from all over. We're talking New York, Chicago, Florida, California, you name it. I have helped them with this process. If this is something that is in your future or you are currently looking into, contact me directly here. I would love to help you out as well. So the first mistake that I see all the time, it's thinking that all the suburbs to Cleveland are the same, when that's not the case. Cleveland suburbs are different, like day and night difference. And you could have places like Solon, where they have top-rated schools. It's super family-oriented. But Solon does come with a higher price tag. And then you have other places like Medina, where you get more of a rural feeling. It's more, laid back. You're going to get more land. You're going to have, that charm. You're going to have lower taxes. The downtown areas of Medina Square and North Court are growing and just getting bigger and better. And then you got areas like Avon, Strongsville, Westlake, where they all offer their own style of community and amenities. But I see so many people picking a suburb because of one listing, or they read a blog. And that is a big mistake. If you care about commute times, school ratings, community events, or even where you're most likely to see wildlife in your backyard, you need a neighborhood strategy. And that's where I come in throughout the whole process. Now, mistake number 2 is underestimating property taxes. This is huge because depending on where you live, could completely change your monthly payment, especially if you're taking out a mortgage like most people do. And, Cleveland homes, yes, they're going to look affordable on paper and at first glance. You could have $350,000 house here. It may feel like a $750,000 house, say in Chicago, for instance. But the property taxes can flip script on that really quick, especially in Cuyahoga County. They have taxes where it could be 2.5% or more for their property taxes. And I've actually had buyers ready to move on a $400,000 house. And then they come to find out, when we're viewing it and walking through, and they pose the question to me, what are the taxes ended up looking like? And we break it down, and it was $800 a month in taxes for a $400,000 house. And it's all because of the city that it was in. So when you're looking at homes online, you can't just look at the list price of things. You got to see what exactly are the taxes. Now, the information that I get off the MLS, it's going to be dated from the previous year for taxes. So the most current up to date is going to be contacting the county or going on their website and finding out exactly what the tax rate is. So it's either you do that homework or you have your agent like me calling and doing the homework for you, so you know what those property taxes are going to look like, and you can get a more accurate number on your monthly payment. The best way to do it, if you're taking out a mortgage, obviously, is call your lender. They'll be able to run all the numbers and give you pretty much the exact dollar amount. Mistake number 3 is flying in and you don't even have a plan in place. This one's common. You end up booking a weekend trip because you see a few homes that you absolutely love and you want to go see them. And let's just say, in one instance where I had 15 showings in 2 days, and you end up leaving more confused than you were before you flew in because it is so much. And it's one of those situations where I want to have time to prep to make sure everything adds up. But when there's not enough time to get everything situated, it's like go, 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 go. And it becomes complete chaos. And I've seen it time and time again, especially when people haven't narrowed down the cities or the neighborhoods, the house type, price point especially, or the must-haves. And that's why I offer the consultations to go through everything and ask these questions, because in about 20 minutes, we can map out your goals. We can get your short list of neighborhoods, cities, amenities, you name it. We basically get you prepped, ready to go. And we could even tour virtually before you even waste your time flying in or driving in to the area. This next mistake, this one really hurts my brain. And it's just simply trusting Zillow over the local insight. Look, I get it. Zillow is super convenient. I understand it's a great platform, but Zillow isn't boots on the ground, walking the neighborhoods, walking the properties. They're not gonna tell you what the street backs up to. It could be a train track for all you know. You're not gonna know that. The house next door, is it a tear down? What does it look like? What does the rest of the neighborhood look like? Zillow's not going to tell you that stuff. They're going to highlight the property. They're going to show you exactly what is on the MLS, but with limitations. On the MLS, I could at least pull up the parcel maps. Physically going there, I could at least look at the neighborhood, get a visual of what is going on. And I had a couple that moved in from New York City. They fell in love with the house. Online, they fell in love with the house. But when they visited in person, the backyard, it actually had a pretty big slope, which was causing like a nasty drainage issue where there was a lot of standing water. And it was, it could have been days, if not a week, depending on how much water was, flowing down from rainfall, where you could even mow a good portion of the yard. And that's something that was not mentioned anywhere in the description whatsoever. So, whether it's me or someone else, you just want to make sure that someone is actually walking these properties. Someone is actually paying attention and physically seeing what everything looks like, looking at the surrounding area to make sure there is nothing that is going to bother you when you make that move. For this one, it's simply just waiting too long to contact an agent. Look, this one's tough. I'll get messages from buyers saying like, hey, we're going to come in tomorrow and we're hoping you can help us out to see some houses. And unfortunately, the good ones are already gone. My schedule could already be packed up. The house could be completely packed with showings, because right now in the Cleveland area, we're still hanging on to a very small seller's market. But some of the really good houses, they're flying off the shelf still. Some areas are 10 to 14 days on market. Other areas are around 30 days on market. It's very hyper local of what is going on in this area as we speak. And these what we consider best homes, or like, move-in ready homes that have tons of updates, they don't sit long as it's priced right. Sometimes it's priced a little bit high and they will sit, but as long as it's priced right, they're selling. And a lot of times they're selling before Zillow really starts ramping up their stuff. And when it comes to relocation, your window is typically tight. I got a lot of people that are moving because of jobs, and it's like, hey, we're being relocated in 3 months and we gotta go. Okay, great. 3 months works out. I got other people that say they're moving in 30 days. That's a problem, because it typically takes 30 days to close on a house. So you have to get everything in order. And even if you're thinking of relocating in the next 3 to 6 months, it's something that I would suggest contacting me on and discussing all the steps that come behind it. And if you want all you need to do is just drop guide in the comments down below, and I actually have a pretty nice relocation guide for you that I put together simply because of questions I was being asked by clients that are just like you, moving to the area, just wanting to know different things. And it's going to show you everything from some Cleveland neighborhoods, some of the school ratings, cost of living comparisons in some of the more popular areas, commute times. It's going to have that stuff for you and answer the most basic questions. So again, just drop guide in the comments down below. I will happily get that over to you. If you are starting the process, my number is right here. I help people just like you every single week with the home buying and selling process, and I'm happy to help you out too and see if I'm even the right fit for you. If you got any value from the video, be sure to smash the like button. It's always appreciated. And if you want to stay on top of what is going on with all things Cleveland, property tours, more relocation tips, be sure to click subscribe, turn notifications on, because I got some great videos that are coming your way.